of women who indulge in sexual intercourse, regardless of the restrictions on time and circumstance.
So that's what Lord Shiva does, that he places ghostly bodies in the wombs of women who actually have union at the wrong time, at a sinful time. So therefore Kashyapa wanted to be very careful.
But still he gave it to.
Yeah, because he himself was interested, like Prabhupada says, he himself was interested in having sex with his wife.
To like here it said like suicide. So I was just thinking that how the people they are taking their next body. Because some of them they committed suicide here also in Siddhartha.
Wherever they commit suicide, they will become ghost.
Whether in Dham or like outside, ghost fix.
And then they will be with Lord Shiva in Bhuvalok.
There with Lord Shiva, it will be very nice.
Bhuvalok.
But not everybody is with Lord Shiva.
Earthly planet also.
They will come, they will keep going here and there. Ghost life is very horrible. If people know what ghost life is, they will never commit suicide. Ghost life is very, very horrible. They have all the senses in the subtle body, and they have all the feeling of all the senses, but they don't have gross body to satisfy the feeling of the senses. That is horrible. Like for example, a ghost feels thirst, but he doesn't have the tongue by which he can taste water and quench his thirst. So he will, as long as he is in the ghost body, he will keep feeling thirst, and he cannot quench his thirst. Same way the ghost feels hunger, but he doesn't have a stomach to actually physically eat food, digest and satisfy his hunger. So the ghost will always be hungry. They'll always be thirsty, they'll always be hungry. Every sense will always torment them like anything. So it is a horrible body to have ghost body. And what they can eat is also even more horrible. Something is given as their food, and that is also horrible. So,
What is their food?
horrible things is given as their food. So, ghostly body is really not good.
So it doesn't help in practicing renunciation.
How? Become ghost and become renounced. Huh?
No, because you have certain things but you cannot experience gross. So because of the punishment for your suicide you get
You get what? You get hellish suffering.
and you also become purified by that.
Hellish suffering indirectly purifies, not directly purifies. It leaves a strong impression about suicide in the mind. So in the next lifetimes, he will not commit suicide. That's what it will do. Generally, hellish sufferings, they leave a strong samskara in the mind, and it stops the person from doing a particular type of sin for which he has suffered.
So then the sex thing, hell everyone gets the suffering, no? Then why that impression is not that I shouldn't do illicit?
Not that it will be 100% it will stop him. But some of them, like, that is for a man who does illicit sex, not for a man who has sex with his wife.
With a recreational.
According to Karma Kanda, recreational sex is not sin.
Oh.
I think I told many times this. Recreational sex is not sin, but it does not help Krishna consciousness. I think I told this at least 4 times, 5 times. Within recreational sex, there is sinful sex. Within recreational sex also there is sinful sex. So as long one avoids sinful sex, then it is not so much sin. Like when a woman is having her periods, if the husband has sex with her, that is sinful. So even though that is recreational sex, that is sinful sex. Okay. So there are activities of sex between the husband and wife which are considered sinful. As long as the husband and wife avoid such type of sex life, they don't get punished for sex life between husband and wife.
But you said using contraceptive is
It is sinful. It's sinful.
So in any case, there is no possibility, even if you want recreational sex, you have to accept the probability to have a child.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah,
100%.
yes,
That becomes heavy responsibility as well.
yeah. With the husband and wife, they're allowed recreational sex, which is not sin. But if they try to artificially stop having a child, it becomes sin.
Very
That's chance. Okay, we don't know what will happen. Yes, no?
You're a brahmachari, don't get into details of that. It's not good. Okay.
Devotees, for some reason, they commit suicide. Still, they have to.
Become ghost.
Brahma pose.
Vishnu, Mahavishnu Swami, the disciple of Prabhupada, he committed suicide and he went to heavenly trance.
Mahavishnu Swami?
Not Mahavishnu.
No, Vishnu Jan, Vishnu
Mahavishnu Swami, they were still
Vishnu
there.
Jan.
Vishnu Jan Swami, we are on recording, so we'll speak later.
You can pause the record.
No, you should go ahead.
Okay, no matter. So much.
There's a reason why he committed suicide. And that's a valid reason.
Yeah, Prabhupada told, after he also,
When you commit suicide for valid reasons, then that suicide is a punishment which you are inflicting on yourself. Then it is alright.
Chota Haridas.
Yeah, that's a valid reason. Then it's alright. Okay. Please read.
Kasyapa warned his wife that because Lord Shiva would see their sex intelligence, the time was not appreciated. Deity might argue that they would enjoy sex life in the private place, but Kasyapa reminded her that Lord Shiva has 3 eyes, called the sun, moon and fire, and one that cannot escape his vigilance any more than one can accept Vishnu. Although seen by the police, the criminal is sometimes not immediately punished. The police wait for the proper time to apprehend him. Kasyapa.
Next. Please read.
Kashyapa informed his wife that just because Lord Shiva happened to be his brother-in-law, that should not encourage her in her offense towards him. Kashyapa warned her that actually Lord Shiva is not connected with anyone, nor is anyone his enemy. It is said that among all the devotees of the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva is the greatest. Thus, the
Remnants of foodstuff.
remnants of foodstuff left by him or accepted by other devotees or
As Mahaprasad.
or great spiritual foodstuff. He prefers to remain without shelter, and his great wife also agrees to live with him humbly. People in general worship Goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, for material prosperity. But Lord Shiva engages her in his service without material desire. He simply advises his great wife that of all kind of worship, the worship of Vishnu is the highest. And greater than that is the worship of a great devotee of anything in relation with Vishnu.
Yeah, so Lord Shiva told his wife, Aradhanam Sarvesham, Vishnu Aradhanam Param, Tasmat Parataram Devi, Tadhyanam Samarchanam. You see?
Lord Shiva's uncivilized, devilish characteristics are never abominable because he teaches the sincere devotees of the Lord how to practice detachment from material enjoyment. The one is equal to or greater Although he always associates with Maya Durga, he is above the reactionary stage of the three modes of material nature, and although he is in charge of devilish characters in the mode of ignorance, he is not affected by such association.
Lord Shiva is the husband of Durga, the controller of the material energy. Durga is personified material energy, and Lord Shiva, being her husband, is the controller of the material energy. He is also the incarnation of the mode of good ignorance and one of the three deities representing the Supreme Lord. One should therefore follow in his footsteps and be unattached to matter, not imitate his uncommon acts like drinking poison.
Although very enlightened, Kashyapa, the great sage, became a victim of his prostitute wife. Such is the strong force of material energy.
Yes.
Generally, we use the metaphor for Shiva like he's the curd.
Yeah.
And we cannot make milk from curd and so on. So he says that he's Vishnu in contact with the matter.
Correct.
But here we say he has no influence from the three modes. So
Yeah, but he is not influenced by the three modes. He is in contact with the three modes. He rules the three modes.
So how is it? You could explain.
Because she is his wife. So he controls his wife. Not that he is in the control of his wife. He controls his wife. And Parvati is very chaste. She serves him. She doesn't rule him. She serves him.
Okay.
They have a husband-wife relationship.
Being at contact of the material nature, what could that mean?
Being in contact with, that means he engages with her directly.
Okay.
He causes her to do the entire creative activity. Like when Krishna is saying, Tasam Brahma Mahadyoni Raham Bija Pradapita, he is actually talking about Shiva.
Hmm.
He is the one who impregnates material nature. Lord Shiva is the one who impregnates material nature.
Okay, differently than the glands of Vishnu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we should have a break and then we'll come back. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. We'll discuss some more glories of Lord Shiva before getting into the rest of the pastime.
Morning no current, so I have to take hot water medicines now.
That's my problem. Can you please distribute to everyone?
Thank you.
This is Radhamada Mahaprasad. Your teacher gave it to me, Damodar Prabhu. He gave.
Yeah, I booked for today. Actually booked for 11, but he not. To 12 he booked, but he's going on 11.
He is going tomorrow, he is.
Yeah, he's going tomorrow.
What happened?
21 birthday, 21 this Sunday he booked.
What, 21?
अभी आपको मिल रहा है जो मिल रहा है खा लो.
Damodar को मुझे बोला कि मैं ठंड लगा है ना, stop speed totally like. He also stopped. He also had like cold problem.
Thank you so much.
Generally, sweet is not good for brahmacharis.
ब्रह्मचारी जी और कौन बच गया आनंद
Oh, Mataji,
नो या
you have to take also.
या आई ट्राई दिस person and I think for this अपन सर्दी रखते हैं लो आयो दम
Brahmacharya eating all Mahaprasadam for so many places. Only sense gratification.
Yeah, but
But careful.
you should not eat too many sweets also.
Some places they lock, temple management say, lock the Mahaprasad only to guests. That also they theft. Mahaprasad gets stolen by Brahmachari.
That's okay. Prabhupada said we can steal Mahaprasad.
They cannot crave the thirst for sweets. And most interesting thing happened in New Vrindavan. You might have heard that fridge they kept in the forest. Child born of तो मेरा सुबह मेडिसिन लेना होता है ना, वो लेने के थोड़ा टाइम बाद ही इसलिए मैं क्लास में आ रहा हूँ, नहीं तो
सोया थोड़ा लेट क्या है?
हाँ
अच्छा।
हेडेक ठीक हो जाए,
हाँ।
थोड़ा कल को है ना, थोड़ा हेड में है, फीवर थोड़ा कम होता है।
इसीलिए थोड़ा सुबह लेके आया, गरम था। गरम पी गया ना? अच्छा है।
मैं 8 बजे सो
Just warm it up. वो है ना, आपको इसके अंदर डाल।
उधर गिलोय है,
हाँ?
गिलोय डाल कर आया,
हाँ।
तो प्रभु गिलोय लाए थे मेरे लिए।
हाँ।
ये बहुत दिन से चल रहा है, पता नहीं, ये कोर्स पे फोकस ही नहीं हो रहा है।
ऐसा इरिटेशन जैसा रहेगा ना?
पूरा डे
सर्दी होगा, बुखार होगा ना, कंसंट्रेट नहीं कर सकते कोई भी चीज में।
I tried my best but still पता नहीं, मेरा बुखार होने से फोकस ज़्यादा भी रहता है कभी-कभी। फोकस
जनरली ऐसा होता है कि कोई भी ना, बुखार नहीं है, कोई भी चीज, कुछ भी बीमारी आएगा तो आपको कंसंट्रेट नहीं होगा कोई भी
लेकिन
चीज
मैं
में।
फोर्स ज़्यादा करता होता हूँ,
ऐसा
बाकी टाइम में फोर्स नहीं करता, लाइट लेता हूँ। Now I am forcing myself.
अच्छा, ये एग्जाम कभी है?
पता नहीं, if I get well then only I will wake up चक्कर, otherwise I don't know.
ये स्टार्ट इन द मॉर्निंग?
I don't know. पूरा दिन तो हेडेक आ जाएगा।
कोई स्पॉन्सर किया है क्या?
All paid मतलब क्या? We have to pay or everyone paid or?
Already paid. Devakrishnan.
So when are we gonna have the exam?
Probably on Saturday.
No exam, tell postpone. Because then we have to prepare for presentation also. When we will write exam?
No, we have to do the exam on Saturday then, otherwise there would be too much work to do.
Saturday we have class.
Also, Saturday we'll have a class.
This is 7 chapters.
Yes.
Oh.
7 chapters in 5 days.
We can do it Monday, isn't it?
After
Saturday, most probably will have class because this is too many chapters.
Yes.
7 chapters.
I will try to see if we can finish it before Saturday, but I don't think so.
Monday
Most
is
probably
the
try.
time.
But and we still didn't go to the most philosophical section of this place yet.
Chatish Kumar then.
Yeah.
That Kumar is responsible, not.
Yeah, that we didn't go to that real section of this still. We are still skimming the surface.
Can't we just do it after lunchtime?
Monday, whole Sunday we'll go morning, come back at night. We'll not be that mood Monday and writing exam.
No, I'd rather do it on Monday, get out of the way, it's best.
Or we can, I mean,
Because whole week, whole day will be out.
see,
Sunday.
what we can do now, what we can do now, we'll take the book, we'll discuss in the bus, all the answers. See, why otherwise we'll carry forward.
Yes.
One day we'll become, all of the sudden you have to write all
Then
that.
Saturday is best.
Huh?
Saturday is best.
Yeah, we'll see.
Saturday is best.
I mean, how long it takes from here to Ekchakra?
5 hours.
Huh?
5 hours.
5 hours on one way and 5 hours to come back.
That's why I'm telling whole day will.
So they'll start early in the morning, I guess.
Early means what? 8 o'clock they'll start after Prasad. 8, 9.
So
I'm
Prashant.
telling the whole day will go. We'll be so tired next day preparing for exam, writing. in
No,
the
I mean preparing exam, we'll do it on the bus.
Not so easy. The road is
Yeah.
cut road. Very horrible road.
We'll see. अच्छा ये interesting. इनका कौन सा रूम? दामोदर रूम.
मेरा बगल वाला है।
कौन सा आपका कौन सा? नंबर दो.
मेरा रूम का नंबर मुझे याद नहीं है।
प्रभु आपका फ्री रहेगा ना? थर्ड फ्लोर में. नंबर आपका नंबर बोलो ना.
I don't know my room number. 34 या 35 है। देखिए मिडिल वाला रूम है। Second room from the corner.
35, right?
I think so. Second room from the corner. First room is mine, second room from the corner.
I think it's best to do the exam Monday, lunchtime. Otherwise, it's not good to forget the content. I think everyone would be
Lecture is
Saturday.
Saturday only.
Do you know on Saturday?
Saturday evening.
Yeah, I'll be up for that as well.
Finish it. Again
Yeah.
Monday, after Sunday, whole day journey, 10 hours.
We'll do a vote now. We'll just have a vote between everyone and ask them if they want to do Saturday evening or Monday after Prashadam.
I think Saturday evening is best to finish it.
We'll do a vote and then whichever is the majority, then I'll
Because
tell
see,
you.
Monday what happens, Sunday will be all tired, whole day going coming.
Right.
And then again preparing.
But you just have to, depends, it just depends on the majority's vote.
It is also so many questions are there. This time, too many questions. 7 chapters.
No, the next exam has 5 pages of questions.
This exam.
Not this one.
Or next exam is not on weekend, it is after the vacation. Because we have presentation, no? So no exam.
Oh, the exam's going to be afterwards.
That's what I see in the schedule.
No, but the schedule has 2 slots, one before and one after. It's better to do it before the presentation.
When is the time to prepare for presentation? I have to write my essays also. So many things. Prepare for the class, read for the class.
That's the only thing I don't get to do is to do the reading. That's one thing with the manager with these. But I'll
Start from now.
about 60-70% I managed to get through.
Start it for me. मेरे वाटर बॉटल का आपका हाथ में पकड़ा लेगा मेरे पकड़ा लेगा मैं वापस ले आता हूँ हाथ में कहाँ चला गया वो क्या वाटर बॉटल कोई कहाँ चला गया वाटर बॉटल हाथ में पकड़ा लेगा हाथ में इतना सारा चीज है खाना लग देता है यहाँ पे वापस आता हूँ मैं तो कलियुग है अभी नाम तो बंदी वो आप लोगों को दी प्रभु जी हमको
Damodar Prabhu gave.
No, Kali Yuga having more children, more than 2 is not bad.
In any Yuga, having more than 2 children is not bad. Having these 2 children and all these things, this is all government nonsense.
Yeah, government is restricting the population.
It's all government nonsense. Prabhupada in one of the purports discusses in the third canto, I think the 6th, 7th chapter, I think 6th chapter or 7th chapter, Prabhupada discusses population theory.
Yes,
He says that this is nonsense, he says. This whole population understanding is nonsense.
They scared for the food. But the food is not enough food, you know.
government is restricting now, no? Otherwise no benefits to children.
Governments are crazy. China was restricting, saying that you should have only one child. Now China is giving incentive to people who are having more child.
Why isn't it a good idea to restrict people doing child if they are not qualified as parents?
It becomes the situation becomes more and more demoniac, because child is more or less still a responsibility. So if you just take off that responsibility also, then people will become more and more demoniac. Like now you have all this man-to-man sex, woman-to-woman sex. It's all because of restricting childhood.
It was there before.
See, the point is that these things are there before, but it is clearly understood as sinful.
You think it will increase the propensity to do non-procreative sex? That's-
Heavily.
Mm,
And it will also lead to demoniac sex. This is all this man-to-man sex, woman-to-woman sex. They are demoniac sex. So it will all lead to demoniac sex, and the people will become more and more like animals.
In any case, just by getting more and more people who behave like animals or...
You have to see which is more risky and less risky.
Yes.
The more you go against nature, it becomes more risky. The less you go against nature, it is less risky. It's not that it's no risk, it's less risk. The more you go against nature, it's more risk. It's always like that.
Chinese are not so much inclined to homosexuality, don't it? Even if they are like the leaders in that decision.
They have very tight control. Government has very tight control.
Yes.
Anyway, our intention is not to discuss world politics.
Verse 25. Yes.
Yes, Vaji.
Prabhupada writes, Lord Shiva is able to vanquish any powerful living entity, including Brahma.
Yeah, he is powerful.
Including Brahma.
In the beginning we read, no? The 12th chapter we read, no? In 12th chapter, you remember we read that Brahma was telling Lord Shiva that these people are coming even to attack me, his population.
Yeah.
So,
So Lord Shiva could do that.
yes. Okay, so there are different characteristics of Lord Shiva which we read. So, how do you think that these characteristics are useful for us as devotees? That how do we take inspiration from Lord Shiva's characteristics as devotees? There are different characteristics which are explained here. Lord Shiva, the king of ghosts, is sitting on the back of his bull, traveled this time accompanied by ghost followers who follow him for his welfare. Lord Shiva's body is reddish, he is unstained, he is covered by ashes, his hair is dusty from whirlwind dust burning from the crematorium. He is younger brother of your husband, he sees with 3 eyes. And then it is said that he regards no one as a relative, yet there is no one who is not connected with him. He does not regard anyone favorable or abominable. We respectfully worship the remnants of his footstep and we vow to accept what is rejected by him. Although no one in the material world is equal to greater than Lord Shiva, although he is impeccable in character, is followed by great souls, nevertheless he remains as our devil to give salvation to all devotees. So how do we draw some inspiration from characteristic of Lord Shiva? What inspiration we can draw? Yes.
I think it says in one of the purports that he controls those in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah.
And I think that can be inspirational because we find as practicing devotees, if we're associated with people that are in the mode of ignorance, we can see Lord Shiva as a status or like a personality we can aspire to behave like, not in a sense where we actually try to control them, but to see that if it's possible for him to do it, then we can gain spiritual strength in his actions.
Okay, means that we can learn to be compassionate to this kind of people. That's what you are saying, and we can preach to them. Okay. Yes.
It's mentioned by Prabhupada that